Hold on, folks. The music's not playing. There we go. And I think the desktop's dead too. Where's the desktop? Let's see. Am I in the right place? Should be drawing 3? There we go. There we go. Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Zero stream, where we stream every Monday, sometimes at 7:30, unless I'm late. And we're going to be drawing the rest of that rabbit picture we did last time. Remember last week when we sketched out a bunch of rabbits? Well, today we're going to be finishing that drawing up, which is good because that means it'll be a nice chill time. I just have to trace what I had before. Where did I put the file? Other, right? It should be under other. And what did I name it? Did I name it something? Rabbit. Rabbit. These aren't rabbits. Let's see. There it is. Look at all these good rabbits. The composition's a little unbalanced if you ask me. Let me see. Did I mean to do it like this, or did I flip it? Did I flip it to see if it was good and then flipped it back? Yes, okay. It's supposed to be like this. But Wigglytuff's ear is so big and close to the screen on this side. Oops. Where's my brush? There we go. It's so close on this side, and there's nothing on this side, so it just feels too lopsided. I could probably move the balloon. Make it bigger. Maybe bend the ear a little for a little personality and also to fill in the area. Make this ear bigger. Why not? They're bunnies. They can have bigger, loppier ears. Okay. And now the hand isn't connecting, so... Well, yeah, how everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone is well. I'm doing pretty okay myself. I just realized I didn't promo the stream anywhere, which shouldn't take too long. I just need to hop on Twitter, pop the links down, and then hop over to Tumblr, to my art blog Tumblr, Zero Pro, and then reblog one of them. For some reason, Tumblr has been defaulting my reblogs to my main channel, which didn't used to happen. But there we go. And that's all I get to do. That's all I can do now. I used to also repost, I guess is the word, repost my, what's it called? DeviantArt. That's what I'm thinking of. DeviantArt. I used to have a journal on DeviantArt that I repost, but now the DeviantArt's like broken. Not just that I can't do it, because I can't do it, but also if I did, I don't think there's like a notify all watchers of this edit anymore. Anyways. Hi, Mouse with a dinosaur tail here in the chat going ahoy! That makes me think of the little gremlins, the little goblins from Banjo-Kazooie that go ahoy when they see you. And then Pokemon Master Wheeler's here, says, I came in and my eyes are assaulted by good beans. You gotta put some salt on those beans for seasoning. But yeah, good to have both of you in the chat. And I think that's a little more balanced. Let me see if I can move Wigglytuff's ear a bit. I think maybe the ear's just too big in general. I might have gone overboard with it. Move it in a little. Yeah, something like that. I think... yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Okay. Wheeler says, I think you may be able to make a stream art and do that edit with it to notify DA watchers. Oh, okay. I'll look into it. There's still a notify all watchers option for editing pics. Okay, so if I ever get DeviantArt to actually work again for me, then I'll try to do that. Because in that regard, I wouldn't be able to do that because the DeviantArt doesn't let me like edit anything. If I click on edit, that's why one of the old Jet's Black Nuzlocke episodes is not linked properly to the next episode, because when every time I remember that it's not linked, I go in and it like, if I hit edit, it looks weird. In fact, I can even like show you guys what it looks like since I'm streaming right now. Yeah, so if I go previous episode, this one's linked. Oh, it's a little broken. Previous episode. So this one right here, I keep forgetting to link it to the next one. So if I go edit, it looks like this. And I can't figure out how to edit it in this form. It's like, it's all broken. But yeah, Wheeler says, that's what I was planning on doing, because journals also seem to not get to viewers. Like, just at all, right? Yeah, because I can make new journals, I think. When I first found out this issue was going on, I was trying to post my episodes, so I made a journal instead saying, hey, if you want to read the episode, you can read it here and then comment on this journal when you read it, and only one person like saw the journal, which was good because like I think an hour after I posted it, a friend of mine said he'll like help me upload my episode for that month. So then the fact that only one person had responded to the journal meant I didn't have to ask a bunch of people to like move their comments over. It was just one. So that was good. But yeah, like nobody got notified that I posted the journal from DA's side. And on my end too, like I don't typically follow people's journals, but I haven't gotten anyone's journal even if I'm pretty sure I got like at least a few, but now I don't even, actually, you know what, it's been a while. I don't think I've even checked my divinations, which is probably on me, because like it used to be the divinations and the something else were like on the same page. I think like the notes. And now I just go to the notes to like delete the extra favorites and stuff, and I don't remember to click over to check the divinations. Whoops. Now, whatever, though. Wheeler says, that's weird. I wonder if it's a Mac problem. I think it's actually maybe a internet problem, because when I take my laptop, my MacBook Pro laptop, and I go on it to edit or post at home, it doesn't work. But if I take my laptop to school, where I work, then I can upload from the same computer. Like, it works. Both of the Macs. I thought for sure it was a Mac problem, but maybe it's like a Mac plus an internet problem, or maybe it is a Mac problem, but it doesn't have anything to do with like the actual computer itself. Like, it's something to do with the connection. In any case, don't you just love it when things work? I sure do. Now, I'm being a little dangerous here because I'm not zooming in to do the line art, which usually what happens when I do that means I'll like zoom in later and suddenly I'll notice a bunch of areas where the line art's just really ugly, like where things crossed over and I didn't realize, or like I left a little bit. But I'm just gonna keep going because this is going by pretty quickly. And well, when you're zoomed in, you can noodle a bit more on the specifics of how the line looks. If you're zoomed out, you kind of stuck with what you can see. And I want to get this whole image finished today. Lined, colored, and shaded. Bagged and tagged. Let me take a look. I think there's something odd about this kid's anatomy. Like, it looks weird. It looks wonky, and I don't really know what. Maybe it's the body? I think maybe the leg is going up here, and then his belly should be coming curved down like this. It's fine. Gotta pick your battles sometimes. There are certain things that they don't look great if it's like the only thing you can see, but in an ensemble piece like this, people typically just take in the whole image at once. It's like the same with a lot of comic pages. You can spend hours making a comic page look amazing, especially some of those graphic novels out there that have those incredibly detailed establishing shots of like cities and stuff. But when you're reading, you're just gonna be like glancing and moving on, especially on your first read. Maybe if it's like especially nice looking and you're getting it because you're like a fan of the artwork, then you will like stop and appreciate each intricate little detail. But especially on my first read through, I typically just speed right past those. The only time I slow down to really look at them is if I'm like looking for inspiration, you know? As an artist, I'll probably go and look deeper into it and like say, hey, how did this guy do this amazing background? And then in that regard, if I look closely and realize it's just made up of like some really simple lines, or like I find all these places where they just kind of cut corners, then that's a learning experience for me, you know? Like I'm learning how they made something come together and look really cool. Let's see. Rat Rascal is here! or Ratrascal. We're constantly like trying to figure out how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna continue to call you Rat because I love rats. And you have a little rat in your name in one of the servers we're on, so. Let's see. Rat says, oh, are you talking about the upload issue with that one episode? Yeah, that one episode where you were like, man, I was so glad that you commented because I love your comments, but like you were the only one that commented, and then like before the day was even over, we found a workaround, and I felt so bad because you were so like diligent to like come and like say something, and I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Can you just move the comment over, because you have such good comments, and I want them all to like show up on the episode, you know? I feel like if more people had seen the journal and like commented, I wouldn't have asked anyone to move them over, because that would have just been kind of, you know, a lot. But since it was just one, I'm like, maybe he'll be better. Wheeler says, the fact that they're separate now causes me to forget them all the time. Right? Like, you have to actually click over. Noodle Doodles is here saying Wabbit season. Yep, we're gonna be finishing up Wabbit season. Hopefully, all of it today. But I will stop on time. I'm not gonna go over time. So if I don't finish it on stream today, I will finish it in my own time. Off stream. Noodle Doodle says, I just got on the forums. I'm excited. I'm Sobble. Rat says, oh, I just couldn't wait to get my thoughts out, LOL. It was no problem to copy paste. I'm sure you had issues. Yeah, it's Rat Rascal. Just one word, so Rat Rascal is right. Yay! I got it right! People were making fun of me saying I got it wrong because I like rats so much that I just see rats and everything, but ha! I got it right. But yep. I just got myself a new graphic novel with, it's not new, but it's new for me because I just bought it. I bought it online, and it's called, wait, what's it called? It's called A Land Called Taro. I haven't actually read it yet, but it's a dialogue-less book. It's got no words in it, which I didn't actually expect when I saw it. It's just I saw the artist on Tumblr and I really liked their style, and they're like, I did a comic, so I went to check it out. It was sitting in my wish list for a long time, and since I had some extra funds, I think a month or two ago, because of the virus and all that, like, I'm not going out to eat out as much. I'm not like going to stores and stuff, so I had some extra funds and I bought this book, and like that's one of the books where it's, because there's no words, it's just all it is to just enjoy the art, you know? I can't wait to like sit down and just really get into it. I bought another book. This one's a manga. It's called Noragami. I watched the anime first, and my friend is like really into the manga, so the manga is like really far past where the anime stopped. Like the anime, I think, only has 2 seasons. Such a shame, because the characters are great. But like while we were watching it, she was telling me about all the differences between the manga and the anime, so I'm like, wow, this sounds really interesting. Usually I'm not a both kind of person. Typically with anime and manga, I stick with one or the other. And it's such a strange relationship I have with the media, because you would think, oh, okay, like whichever one you like, whichever one you were exposed to first, you're probably just biased towards it. Which I'll definitely say is the case. It's the same with like dubs and stuff. If I start with a dub, then it's really hard for me to enjoy the sub, and vice versa. If I start with the sub, then I can't watch the dub. But like way back in the olden days, when I was first getting into it, I remember my first anime manga combination was Inuyasha. And it was so strange because I started by reading the manga. Gosh, sorry guys, the music's just so loud. Let me turn that down. Noodle Doodle says, Mouse, you scare me to death. Cedar almost died. I have bragging rights because I got it right. Oh, that's neat. How shows how far you can stretch pure visual storytelling. I do enjoy a couple of series. Like, there's a manga called Gon. It's like Gon. It's about a little dinosaur, and that one has no words either. And the guy who does that is just insane with like the landscapes and the details. Mouse is screaming. Mouse says, "Bah, she's fine." Says, "Sorry. I hope it wasn't too hard to read." Oh, actually, I haven't gotten to it yet. I was just talking about my relationship with, doing anime and manga. So, like, basically, back in the day, I started with Inuyasha. I, started by reading the manga, and, like, whenever I would watch the anime that corresponds with that same arc, or just, you know, one episode to one chapter, equivalent, the anime seemed so poorly paced, so like the changes they would make changes and they were so dumb, and like it annoyed me. It made me angry. I hated it. So I'm like, okay, the manga's better. But then later I saw some episodes before I had read that part in the manga. If you don't know, it's pretty episodic. Inuyasha is. So I skipped around a bit. And then when I went back to read the manga for those sections, I hated the way the manga did it. Like, the dialogue seems stilted compared to the anime. Like it just was the opposite effect. Like, the manga became the bad one, and it would flip-flop back and forth. So like, my bias is so strong to whichever I started with. It didn't even stick to one or the other. But yeah, so like that's usually how it works. I have I think most of the more popular ones only seen the manga, like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. I've only read the manga for, so I can't speak to those. But it doesn't like give me an urge to check out the anime, I guess. I watched Brotherhood for Fullmetal Alchemist because like it's just the best, and I wanted to see it, but that's it really. Like, Naruto goes on so long. The only thing I would really want to see, honestly, are the fillers. Like, I kind of would want to check out Naruto fillers just for that extra content. But no, Noragami is the first one that I'm like, yo, the changes in the characters and like the writing seems really interesting. Like, I want to see what the differences are, and because there's like no third season in sight, like we've got maybe a fool's hope based on an assumption like that they might get a third season, but other than that, like it's basically been years since the second season came out. So we're kind of just, you know, left up the creek. So with all that, I'm like, you know, I like these characters. I want to see what happens with them. I think I need to pick up the manga. Like, just as much as I'm not the kind to go to an anime of a manga that I've seen and be like, I need to now see the anime version. Like, there is not a bone in my body that compels me to want to watch the One Piece anime. And similarly, I've never been like, oh, My Hero Academia sure was good. I should now read the manga. Now that the anime's over. It's like, no, I don't want, like, I'm not gonna go and read the Attack on Titan manga or like, you know, the series that are, they like don't end and it's like a read the manga kind of series. It's like, I'm not going to read. Soul Eater was another one. That one like changed the ending and we never got the true ending that the manga got. And we're never going to get more of the anime, I don't think. I'm not going to read the manga. I tried. The manga's style was just too far from the anime for me. Yeah, I've never been like a anime's done, let's go read the manga kind. But Noragami is like the first. This one actually has me wanting to check it out. And so I have it sitting over there. It got rained on so badly when it arrived. It's like upsetting how wet it was. Just completely soaked through. Like took a midnight, like an all-night bath in the deluge. I think it's mostly dry now. So I should be able to read it soon. But yeah, it's been like a while since I've picked up a book. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Noodle says, when I thought she suffocated, I'm like, Mouse. Cedar says, Cedar says, Mouse says, Cedar suffocating? Unheard of. Because she has gills. When she was huffing, yesterday it was too hot, I was a puddle. Oh no! Compassion left behind. It'll only slow us down. Compass left behind, I think. Compass left behind. It'll only slow us down. Heart will be your guide. Raise the sails and take the helm. That legendary place that the end of the map reveals is only legendary till someone proves it real. Okay, I do like the One Piece like theme song. The We Are is really good. I even like the One Piece rap that the 4Kids did. Oh, thanks for the follow, Mouse. And then the other one, Bon Voyage, is another good one. Bon Voyage, and the courage set sail and believe that we will see. Oh, that one's good. I think I don't know if the person who plays Luffy sings it or if it's just someone who sounds like her, but yeah. Let's see. Mouse says, Noragami manga much better than anime. Nods, nods. The manga is literally insane right now. Yeah, like, you're, like, literally dying, and I'm like, what could possibly happen? Like, the anime is so wholesome. Like, what we've gotten is just kind of wholesome shonen fun, you know? And you're, like, screaming about darkness. The fandom is falling apart at the seams. I'm like watching this trash can fire, and I'm just like, here we go, just jump right in. The anime is good. Wait, no, manga for My Hero Academia. Really? I like to watch it because of Dub Bakugo's voice. It is insane. Like, that poor guy who voices Bakugo, I'm surprised he hasn't lost his voice 10 times over. But it's, I like his voice actor. I shouldn't say I like his voice actor, because I've never been one to, like, go, oh, I like this voice actor, let me watch something else that they've done. I have started to do that because there have started to be, like, voice actors that I just really like the quality of their voice, but I've never found anything else to, like, jump on. There's only one voice actor that I've ever done that with, where I've saw, like, wait, no, did I actually check him? Okay, no, I didn't check out a show because of him, but, like, I've recognized him in other shows and, like, have been excited whenever his character shows up, even though he always plays bit characters. And that's the guy who voices Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. I used to know his name too, but I don't anymore. But it's so funny because I feel like he's got a type. He's got a character. He gets typecasted, and his type is anime guys, like effeminate anime guys who get hurt a lot. He like has a really he's perfected the sound where you get hurt. The like you know what I mean? Anyways, let's see. Mao says, my friend and I literally spent hours today trying to figure out what was the story of SNK, Attack on Titan. What was the story? I hear Attack on Titan, it picked up again in season 4. And season 1 was insane enough that I feel like I might try, like, getting back into it. I heavy dropped interest on Attack on Titan after Eren turned into a whatchamacallit, a Titan. Because it was kind of my fault, because, like, the thing that happened right before it got my interest up so high because of what happened, and then they, like, undid it, so it, like, plummeted, like, really hard. And then there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was, like, a big wait after season 1, and when season 2 started, like, basically interest had died down. Like, the hype had already died. So I kind of just didn't keep up with it. And then I would hear, like, bits and pieces here and there, and people don't seem that invested, or they just think it's not providing what they wanted from the show, or something, or something. Anyway, but I just saw a video from Giguk, which I'm not a big fan of his channel. The quality of his voice is not pleasing to me. And, like, he sounds kind of like he's talking to me like I'm dumb sometimes, and I don't appreciate that. But his Attack on Titan one made me interested in Attack on Titan slightly. Not enough that I would like instantly go out and watch it, but enough that it's like back on my to watch list, whereas previously I had taken it off. It's like back on, but it's still at the bottom of the list. It's one of the... Yeah, I'll check it out if I get through the others. Sorry, I want to check the chat, but I want to get that line down. Okay. Javier is here! Hi, Javier! Let's see. There were wiki dives, articles being read, hours of discussion, just trying to figure out what the story was, and we eventually came to the conclusion that the story is extremely complicated and completely stupid. It's literally the complete single worst case scenario happened in the manga in Noragami. Oh, it was Moxie, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, season 2 had a years long wait. The story got extremely bad. And high-key pro-fascist, anti-Semitic? Okay. Yeah, it sounded like from the video. From the video, it sounded like that all happened to build up to something that happens in season 4 that makes it like makes sense or like proves a point or something. It was all building up to something. Like they were prepping you for something else. And it was like these seasons were bad, yes, but it's good now. Or I don't remember if that was the exact wording or even the sentiment. That's kind of what I remember it. I think I said I just watched it, but it was like a while ago. Cause I have a weird thing where I get increments wrong all the time. And everything, when I'm like talking about something that happened in the past, my go-to is I just, when really it might have been like a week ago, it might have been several months ago. I don't have any sense of time. I told my mom today that I read an article that says dogs don't have a sense of time. They that's why they get so distressed when you leave for work, because they can't tell that you leave for work and then will come back in like a few minutes. They just know that at this moment in their life, currently, you left them, and this is going to be their eternity. This is their like current eternity, and they get distressed because of it. And then when you return, they like just kind of forget that they were distressed or like alone for what felt like eternity. They're just like so happy to see you because in that current moment they're like, oh wow, you're back. To which my mom responded, how did they know that that's what the dogs were thinking? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't read the like studies. I probably like heard about this on a YouTube video or something. And now I'm like curious, like what studies did they perform to like reach these conclusions? Leonardo Mapachi is here. Hello, pretty rat friends. Who are the rats out and about? As soon as I look over, they're gone. Oh no. Domino's up there. The chat is blocking him a little, but he's at the top. I scattered some seeds up there, so he's probably just munching on those. Munching and crunching. What a mood. Basically all of us in a nutshell right now. Yeah. she told me two old Chinese proverbs about personifying animals and not knowing stuff. Like, one of them was two guys were on a bridge looking at the fish swimming down below, and one of them was like, look how peaceful and happy the fish are swimming in the river down below. And then the other one is like, how do you know they're peaceful and happy? And that's it. That's the story. I guess it's not really a story. It's like an adage, or like a... I don't know what you call it. It's like a short scenario that, like, teaches a lesson. But, like, it's apparently a famous scenario in China. The other one was a little more funny. She's like, a rabbit went fishing one day and didn't catch any fish. And so he went fishing the next day and still didn't catch any fish. And when he went fishing the third day, the fish came out of the water and said, please stop using carrots as bait. And the moral of the story is, like, just because you like something doesn't mean everyone else does. Because the rabbit likes carrots and he was, like, using it as bait and the fish didn't want it. And then I was like, well, I guess it's a good thing the rabbit doesn't eat fish. He doesn't need to catch any. You know, sometimes you just want to go fishing for the sitting in the sun, you know, basking in the rays, breathing in the air and enjoying nature. Wheeler returns! And Wheeler's like, I return, and I'm just as lesbian as ever. Okay. I'm glad you haven't changed. Mal says, that's so stupid, what? I know, it's like, it's not a... It's just an ancient, like, sort of saying, I guess. Based on the fact that they're not running away? Maybe. Javier says, carrots seem very fitting right now, given the drawing. Oh, yeah! Carrots and rabbits. Wheeler says, yee, I heard Attack on Titan got pro-fascist. Never been so glad that I fell out of a series early. Javier's going, what the heck? Yeah, I don't remember that part of, of the video, if they mentioned it. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Gigguk's content, so I'm not really, like, itching to go rewatch it. And it didn't, like, make me, like, incredibly invested to, like, jump back into Attack on Titan. I don't remember anything that was said about, like, the political side of things. I just remember something about the video made me go like, oh, I want to check it out again now. And then I promptly didn't. I did finish a series recently. I think it was last night. I finished watching Demon Slayer? The Hunter? Slayer. Demon Slayer. It was pretty good. It was not the groundbreaking shonen that I was promised. Did not live up to the hype. But I was watching it with a person who hasn't seen it, like, pretty much any anime at all. And he really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed that he enjoyed it. And there was enough in there that I could enjoy it too. The visuals were stunning. It looks great. But yeah, it's a lot of, like, stuff that I've seen before. I I can't wait to like peruse Annie YouTube to see what the hype was about, because Demon Slayer exploded like a year ago. When did it come out? I think it was a year ago. I just remember at one point every Annie YouTuber was like praising it, and I just want to see what they were going on about, because it was such hype that I avoided everything. Usually I only avoid every analysis video when I'm pretty sure that I'm going to see a thing. This usually means Marvel movies, because I'm so far into the Marvel Cinematic Universe now that I might as well just see all of them, so I might as well just not watch analysis videos until I have. And Pixar movies, which I haven't been seeing all of, but I do eventually. Let's see. The ones I haven't seen yet are Toy Story 4, Cars 3. Is there another one? Trying to think. Oh, Onward. Let me think. Onward, I don't particularly want to watch. So, like, if I really want to watch something, I won't watch any videos on. But if I only kind of want to watch it and don't feel much, like, invested to see, I might watch a few, because sometimes, a video will, like, brings up a point that piques my interest. And then if my interest peaks, then I will stop watching. Okay, let's see. I knew Attack on Titan was ultra violent, but I didn't expect him to be ultra fascist. Mao says, well, the mangaka is pro-fascist. Leonardo says, Demon Slayer's animation is feature film level. I don't know if I would say that. Leonardo says, and the story is basic shonen manga, but the execution is flawless. Again, like the maybe the manga, but like the anime is good looking. And the basic shonen stuff is executed in a fun way. But there are parts that like kind of take me out of it. I do like that they have slower parts though. Like, so as we were finishing up the last 3 episodes, like the series literally finishes what feels like 3 episodes too soon, because the last 3 episodes are just them like healing from the last battle and like training, which seemed weird at first, but in hindsight, I do appreciate there are slower moments. Like, I was expecting a big climactic battle for the end, as you do. But they had, like, the climactic battle and then kind of undid it and then concluded that arc 3 episodes before the season was over. And I actually quite enjoyed the, like, slower moments, but it would have been nicer if there was, like, another season already, you know? Like, the fact that there's not going to be another season until probably next year, potentially later if they got delayed because of this whole virus thing, like, because there's no more, it felt like a waste of time. but it was a fun waste of time. When a show can waste my time and still I can still enjoy it, then I can appreciate that. I was expecting to like a character and he ended up being really annoying, but then he was like really cool in like small bursts. And so I was like super conflicted the whole time. But okay, so like the animation on the characters is pretty great. The effects also look really cool, but like there's so much just strange application of CG, such strange compositing of like 2D to 3D elements, or maybe just 2D to 2D elements, but like in unique ways that kind of jump out at me. And then they like, I swear, I haven't done any research, but I swear they're using real life footage for backgrounds and just putting a filter over it. It's so funny because it's so obvious when it happens. Stuff like that, it's fun to see because it's like a new kind of style, but it also doesn't look great to me. That might just be my personal preference, but it's not executed the best, I don't think. I appreciate a good animation cheat when I see one, but this one was a little too jarring to me. Ugh, eyes. Mouse, I don't know how you do those like big round eyes. Big round eyes are like the worst. I can never get them right. I always think back on the Rave Master manga. The mangaka was asked who's the most difficult character to draw, and I think he said it was Plu, which like blew my mind because to me Plu was like the simplest character. If you don't know, Plu is like a little snowman dog, and he said apparently he was the hardest to draw because he's so simple that if you just get like a little bit of the proportions off, then he looks weird. And so I tried to draw Plu, and yeah, it's really hard. If you've ever tried to draw Hello Kitty also, unless you pay really close attention. Pikachu, I think, has the same effect. Unless you're like doing a different kind of style, if you try to draw Pikachu, there's something about the proportions of its face that you gotta get correct, or else it might look a little off. Those kind of simple character designs. Did I just not give Baniri feet? I completely didn't give Baniri feet in the sketch. I'm gonna put one foot here. The other one here. I think that works. I'm not making fun of you. I'm saying it's like difficult for me. I'm saying you do it. You're more skilled in that department. Leonard says, I'm always impressed by how the outfits on the show have like patterns and the double colored hair. That must have been a pain to animate. Oh man, that stuff is really impressive. Yeah. I can definitely agree with you there. Wheeler says that piques my interest. Oh, Wheeler's like, oh, are we making fun of Mouse? I want to join. Also, Pikachu is always perfection. Leonardo says, I hate drawing Pikachu. Weren't Baneri's feet behind Audino's ears? No, I think I wanted them to be standing on Wigglytuff, and I just didn't draw that. Maybe this is one of the feet? So it would be like this and this? I'll have him, standing on Wigglytuff. I think it's fine. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting line. Mouse is like, no, I'm sensitive. Javier says, I'm sensing the birth of Lyra's arch nemesis, Wheeler and Mouse. Arch nemesi. We gotta make them have a cute off to see who's got more power. Let's see. But I did enjoy Demon Slayer enough that I am looking forward to season 2. I will be waiting for season 2 to come out. And now we need a new series to watch. I was thinking Dororo, but that's the one that I wanted to see, and I don't think he might be interested. It's hard to find one that might be good for both of us because he like hasn't seen any anime. So my instinct is to pick like a good one, like a classic, something to show. But then it has to be like one that neither of us have seen. So all of the ones that I know are good are like off the table. So then it just becomes ones that I want to see, but all the ones I want to see are kind of like really specific to my taste. So, or like typically would be geared towards my taste because I've seen like a small bit of it and or saw like a review of it and it seemed like it would strike my fancy, so I added it to my list. There have been a few duds for sure. Kaiji wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, just from the pacing. But, Blood Blockade was also, like, just really substanceless, even though it looked really cool. So, like, Blood Blockade I added because of the style. Like, just the way that it looked is what got me to add it. Because I couldn't understand any synopsis of it, and now I understand why I couldn't understand any synopsis of it, because there's no way to synopsisize Blood Blockade Battlefront because there's no substance. I would have gotten the same thing as watching the anime as I would, like, I would have profited as much as I could have if I just watched the ED like 8 times in a row, I think. Think like Adventure Time levels of just nonsense. Wheeler says, wait, let me see. Javier says, I was referring to Leonardo for hating Pikachu. Oh, okay. Born the birth of Lyra's arch nemesis, Leonardo, who hates drawing Pikachu. Mao says, I'd wipe the floor with Wheeler in a cute off. Wheeler says, false. Have you seen me drop Raichu? Mao says, I have, and I'm still right. Oh boy! Fight! 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 Javier says, Mao's versus Wheeler, the battle of the century. Okay, let's see. Today was Labor Day, and the school that I work at closed, so I stayed home today. But my mom, who also works at a school, she works at public school as a lunch lady, and she also didn't work today, so she's like, you want to go shopping? I'm like, yes. And there's a new Chinese store that, like, grocery store that opened up relatively nearby. So we went there, and man, I don't know what it is. I think it's the quarantine. But just walking around the store got me so tired. I couldn't do anything for the rest of the day. I was literally just like lying in bed, attempting to script. Luckily, I actually got the next episode completely sketched. It's actually a really short one, again. I'm getting some shorter episodes now, just so that I can break up the action in a way that doesn't make one episode like a bajillion pages long. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the rest of the month trying to get episodes 82 and 83 also sketched, because they basically all happen in the same time. It's basically one like arc, but if I did it all in one episode, it would take forever. And it's also good because the next episode is going to have a lot of establishing shots of the city. The city, Opelucid City, which I have a specific like vibe I'm going for with it. So I want to like show off a couple of shots, which I don't know if it's getting off the vibe I want, but that's why I added a whole scene after the establishing shots to really like make sure you understand what I was going for. These shots are probably not going to do the trick, so I'm just going to straight up have characters act it out. So we got a bunch of shots of the city regardless, and also I have to draw a car a bunch of times. Inside and out. So I'll have my hands full still. That's next month's. That's next month me's problem. This month me is gonna be focusing on story. Which is kind of hard to do when your brain is full of cotton and you have a song from a musical you haven't seen before stuck in your head. I've been listening to the first song, the opening song of Be More Chill over and over again, like, and singing that one line all day because it's the only line I can remember. It's a musical about a kid who like is in high school, and there's a part that's where he's like I don't want to be a hero. And that's just stuck in my head all day. It's like I literally just heard this song for the first time yesterday, and it's an 8-minute long song. So I haven't memorized any of it, but like it's stuck in my head. So just all day I've just been going, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to stay in line or something. Something Robert De Niro. But yeah, that's just my brain all day. I've been in like a weird kind of, like my eyes are glazed over. I went to help my mom make dumplings, and she's like, you look so tired. I'm like, what? There's something about just standing and making dumplings that really breaks my back. It's like definitely the opposite of back-breaking work, but you stand and you like fold enough dumplings, your back's gonna feel it. Okay, I got this this rabbit's feet wrong, so let me look up a reference. Mouse is saying F yeah! Yeah, Mouse is the one that introduced me to Be More Chill. I had never heard of Be More Chill before. So, you know, there's like certain musicals. Bunnelby. There are certain musicals that everyone's just heard of. You know? Like, stop anyone on the street, ask them to name a musical, they'll probably say Phantom of the Opera. Some of them will probably say Les Mis. I would definitely say Cats. Like there's just some well-known musicals. Everyone knows that Disney has a bunch of Broadway musicals. Ask them to name a musical on Broadway, some of them will probably say Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, you know, like, so those were the ones that I knew about. And then I meet Mouse, and she's like, "Oh, Dear Evan Hansen." I'm like, "What? Be More Chill." Excuse me? Like, just a bunch of, like, Hadestown, all these musicals that I had never heard of before. Like, not even, like, even Oklahoma I've heard of. Camelot I've, like, heard of on the wind, you know? I had a friend who was into musicals in college. But, like, yeah, I had literally not even a whiff on the wind of Be More Chill, and apparently it's like one of the best, and I'm like, oh, what? Let's see. Bunnelby has a weird little like, it's got that kind of leg where it looks like it's detachable. And I don't know how it should look from the back is the thing. Maybe I can block its butt with the tail and not have to draw it. Yeah, Hamilton's like really big right now. Watch the animatic version. The musical is pretty great, says Leonardo. Place your bets. Who do you think will emerge from this clash of titans? Leonardo says, I don't hate Pikachu, I just hate drawing them. I can definitely vibe with that. There are certainly some Pokemon where I don't hate the Pokemon, but don't ask me to draw them because it's not going to be a fun time. I'll do it if I have to, but it's going to be a struggle. Javier says, place your bets. Who do you okay. Oh yes. Today's Labor Day, starring Kate Winslet and Josh Bro. Rat says, I've been obsessed with the 2019 Hades Town recently. Mouse says, funny enough, most of the musicals you listed, are very well known. Wheeler says, the only musical I know is Lion King and Cats. Wheeler, do you only know about Cats because I keep going on about it? Or did you know about Cats, like, as a thing, like, more than just the name, before I started? Cats is, like, one of my favorite musicals. It might be my favorite. I can't say because I've only seen, like, a handful. Seen as in, like, I've only listened to. I haven't seen pretty much any. I think the only musical, apart from Lion King on Broadway, that I've seen is Into the Woods? Maybe? As in, like, on a stage, not like a recording or like a movie. Because I've seen a couple as movie versions, and I've seen recordings of like some Star Kid musicals. Let's see. Javier says, Heathers was my jam during my last years of high school, early years of college. Oh yeah, Heathers is another big one. Heathers, like, one of the big ones, along with Dear Evan Hansen and Be More Chill. But again, I didn't know about it. Apparently there's a Beetlejuice musical I had never known about. There's a Frankenstein musical I've never known about. There's so many musicals I just have never heard of. And they're all getting animatics, and it's amazing. Leonardo says, I guess Next to Normal is part of these new Broadway shows. My all-time favorite is Company. That's another one that I literally haven't heard of until just now. Like, just this moment when you said it. Mouse says, there is no better musical than Be More Chill. Objective fact. Wheeler says, 0. I'll draw Pikachu if I have to. Me starts a whole comic dedicating to making Pikachu the protagonist. I don't know if Pikachu is one of the Pokemon that I wouldn't draw. Pikachu isn't that difficult for me personally, because I think I've, like, gotten it to a point where I can draw it comfortably. I do, like, deform it a bit. It is a bit of a weird Pikachu. I have not tried, like, anime, like proportioned good boy Pikachu, you know, the perfect chew that we all love. But I certainly have my own version of it. I'm talking about Pokemon like Braixen. Love Braixen, I do. I love me a Braixen. It looks amazing as a Pokemon. When I tried to draw it, it lost all of the charm that I liked about it, about its design. I, like, messed Braixen up. There was another one too. What was another Pokemon that I think Monferno at one point? I have figured out a way to gremlinify Monferno in a way that I like. But again, it's not the same. Torracat. I really like Torracat. It's got a great sort of proportion to it that I really appreciate, but when I try to draw it and like emphasize that proportion that I enjoy, it comes out really bad. Like really bad. I think that's it. There's no other patterns, right? There might be spots on his back, but I don't actually know. I'll leave the white patterns unlisted, I was about to say. Leonardo says the Cats movie makes me sad. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. Just watch the 1998 VHS version. Wheeler says, I actually learned about cats from the movie Shenanigans. Okay. I like to think, and don't correct me if I'm wrong, just let me live my fantasy, but I like to think that I brought up the Cats movie to your attention when I like posted the video of the behind the scenes or the trailer or something in Tales' server. I like to think that I spread the word. It was a nightmare, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It makes me sad in that we couldn't have something good, but I didn't hate it when I was watching it, and I was excited for it before it came out. Like, it looked horrendous, but it didn't quell my desire for it to be a nightmare that I could enjoy. It didn't end up being the fact, like, unfortunately, they made certain choices that were just, I just couldn't get past. Changing the Monlon Jerry and Rumple Teaser song was one of them. Some of the performances, but yeah, I still listen to Beautiful Ghosts. It's a great addition. It wouldn't have fit in the original. It's not like one of those, oh, we can like just add this to the canon. It's like, I don't think the original would have worked with it. But, oh my goodness. Like, Macavity going, Macavity! When he, like, whisks the cats away. Taylor Swift as Bomb Ballerina, and, like, Bomb Ballerina being with Macavity. It's like, what is happening? It's such a nonsense musical that I was so ready for them to shoehorn in plot, and they shoehorned in just enough to, like, entertain me. I liked what they added. The Skimbleshanks sequence, it's like legit good. I like the movie, if nothing else, gave us an amazing Skimbleshanks sequence. With all of these movies, though, you know, I don't think any of them have gotten to the point where oh no, that's not true. I was gonna say none of them have a soundtrack that I listen to. But I do prefer the Phantom of the Opera Gerard Butler version because I'm trash. Mouse says, I wanted to see Beetlejuice, but then the pandemic hit and it went off Broadway. Yeah! Leonardo says, the Beetlejuice musical is brand new. The last season was literally canceled over COVID. Oh, no. And at that, I think I said his name 3 times, so pray for me. Rat says, I would kill a man to have seen Hadestown on stage. I think Mouse would have too. Leonardo says, be right back, family visit. Wheeler says, the perfect chew. Mouse says, as soon as the pandemic is over, I'm seeing Hades Town. Rat says, do it, Mouse. Wheeler says, I wish I could draw Braxian better. You draw Braxian great. You have your own style, and you get everything to, like, be able to mesh with it. My problem is, and this is my problem usually with drawing fan art for anime too, is I like the style that it's in. So when I draw it, it's no longer what I like about it, you know? Oh, Wheeler says, I can't draw the bottom legs at all. Okay. The bottom, like, Braxian's legs are some of the most pristine legs I've ever seen on an anthropomorphic fox. I love Braxian's legs. I am really into animal legs, you guys. Like, my favorite part of, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast was his big old animal paws. Like, I love the way they draw them. The way they move and stuff. So, like, yeah, Braxian's legs are some of my favorite parts of that design, and there's something about the proportions of it that are so hard to replicate. Mouse says, I don't have this problem because there's no better style than my style. I love your style, Mouse. You have such a unique style that's like, I love when people have a style that's so, what's the word? Like, they know what they're doing. When you see the style, you get the sense that they, like, have made choices to make it fit within their style. You can see something and just instantly be like, oh, that's that person's style. I think it's because I've never really developed that for myself, that it's something that I admire when people have it. And I've tried to, like, study styles before. Man, my first, draw this in this manga style was atrocious. They basically all just look like really ugly anime girls of, like, they all look the same, and they all looked hideous, and there was, like, no difference between any of them. My second style thing, I went a little too far. It was a wolf style meme, and this time I didn't trace anything. I just took what the style was and, like, feminized parts of it, but also tried to make it so that it seems like the person would have drawn it for that series based on the actual wolves that were in that series. And, like, people thought I traced. I didn't record it, so I don't have proof. But yeah, like, I was replicating the line quality and everything, so I think I went a little too far on that one. For example, like, one of the wolves for the meme was Looney Tunes style. Which I was like, okay, so I will probably have to make up something that looks like Coyote, but more stocky. But I looked it up, I'm like, is there a Looney Tunes wolf? And there is. There's a wolf character. He, it plays off of the shepherd. There's a shepherd dog. A sheepdog that, like, protects the sheep, I think. I forget the wolf's name, but he literally just looks like Wile E. Coyote. Like, the wolves and the coyotes literally look exactly the same. So I'm like, you know, to stay true to the style, I'm like, well, if that's just how they decided to do their wolves. So I drew, I was drawing Zero the Red Wolf. So what I did was I changed it, so that the color scheme, obviously, I gave her eyelashes because I felt like, you know, I looked at how they turned Bugs Bunny into Lola. Where it's like, it's basically just Bugs Bunny, but she wears clothes now, is curvy, and like has eyelashes. So I tried to give that treatment, except I'm like, I don't want to make her that curvy. So I literally just drew Wile E. Coyote and put clothes on and eyelashes on her. And it looks like I copped out and like did a recolor of Wile E, but no, I drew it from scratch. Never have I been like so chuffed with myself after doing a style challenge, because I'm like, wow, these look so good. They're literally just the styles, and then everyone was like, you traced these. And I'm like, no, I was a fool. I should have had proof. But yeah, there's more too. There's more where that came from. Because there's so many series that have wolves in them. So I might someday dust off that old project. I don't have much interest in doing it now. But there's Pokemon style wolf, which is, well, back when I was doing it, there weren't actually any wolves in Pokemon. So I got to be a little more creative with that. There was like Digimon style, there was Animal Crossing style, this Azumarill kind of looks like a Sentret. But yeah, and then after the wolf style meme, I think I did another style meme with Jet. So that was another human one. The human ones are pretty difficult. That one I think I was pretty pleased with as well. I actually think I got some of the style elements while still keeping Jet's like personality and like, you know, body type and all that. The hardest thing actually about doing style memes, I find, is the clothes. Because I'll like study the faces and like the way their eyes are, and they're all very distinctive and stuff, but when it comes to the clothes, I suddenly just like give up and just do generic clothes folds. And then I realized, no, like the way they do clothing also changes. And so you have to, like, I don't know, I have to do an extra, like, pinch in the side to keep myself from copping out and just doing my normal clothes style. Like, to try and add a bit of, make it feel a little more like it's the other... Okay, let's see. Rat says, you're not wrong, man. I love your style. I assume that's to Mouse. Mouse says, it was very accidental. Wheeler says, 0, too strong. Also, the goal is to recreate art styles. You didn't go too far. People were just mean. Thank you, Wheeler. Thank you for validating me. No, it's like maybe I could have made it look like a different character, but literally, like, Wile E. Coyote and this wolf guy look exactly the same. They didn't make a different character, so I just did what they did. I need to look up a Azumarill. Okay, yeah, it has more spots. I never know where the spots on Azumarill are. But it seems like they're just kind of random. Oh no, I forgot Azumarill's tail! Okay, well, I guess you can't see the tail. You don't get to see Azumarill's tail. Because I want it to look like it's coming out of Azumarill and not, like, coming out of Whismur, you know? But there's no room for it anywhere. Maybe I can just put a big ball back here. That's the tail. Okay, but, like, okay, so... One thing I have missed out on a bit in Jet's Black Nuzlocke is character designs or, like, Pokemon designs that are really flexible, I think. By the time they got to Black and White, they kind of had this thing down where they knew what the Pokemon should look like, and it's, like, really intensely a character. I'm gonna look up Buneary. But like, I never got to play around with designs like the Gen 1 monsters where they're just like, I was looking at Geodude the other day. I'm like, how much fun would you be able to have with a Geodude? I mean, it's literally just a rock. A rock could be any shape with arms. Like, how would this thing walk? I want to do, like a walk thing with Geodude where it's like just all the different ways that it could locomote. Like, just the most realistic ones, the most, like, absolutely bonkers ones. You know, like it would probably, like, tuck its arms in and roll. Maybe it would, like, walk on its arms like it's doing push-ups. Maybe it will walk on its arms like it's a chicken. Maybe it'll, like, hop. Maybe it would, like, swing its arms, like throw its arms forward into the ground, lift itself up, like, pendulum forward through the air, you know, and just, like, bounce along. Maybe it would float, like in the anime. Maybe it'll, like, hop. Maybe it'll just scooch, you know? Like, when you're, lying on your belly, you know, and you have to, like, army crawl. Maybe it just army crawls, but without legs. Wheeler says, I think someone here is a fan of the rolling. Yeah, I think Mouse does the rolling. I know someone else did, like, it walks on its hands. Rat says, you were punished for being too good at your job. Geodude, but it moves just by sliding forward by the power of sheer anger. The pioneers rode these babies for miles. It just, like... I don't know. And then SpongeBob sits on here. That bird is literally just what's it called? The a talo. Yeah, where it's like its wings are like that. Oh. Oh, yeah. Perfect. New Geodude canon. Okay, let's toss in some color. Let's see what I can remember. Just from memory, you guys. Oopsies. I should probably do that on a different layer. Oh. I don't know if that's the right pink. That's more like it. I like that one better. I don't know if you guys could even tell a difference, but to me there was a big difference. Wigglytuff, though. Maybe Wigglytuff will be more of the bluish. No, I just don't like the blue-pink. I do want him to be different. Maybe I can make Audino a little more orange. A little more peach. Or would... No, I think it's the opposite. I think Wigglytuff would be more peach. I'm gonna make Wigglytuff more. And then... maybe lighter, actually. Ah, that's a good color on Wigglytuff. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. Make it look like a big naked baby. Alright, and then I need to find a pale yellow. Sure is hard coloring pale yellow on a yellowish background. There's just enough difference that I can tell. Oh, the puzzles are also... make them a little darker. Maybe Audino needs to be a little darker too. My very first two Copic markers. Copic markers are not cheap, you guys. So it's like a big deal getting your first Copic markers. And my first ones ever that I picked up were a pink and a pink and a yellow so that I could draw Audino. That was literally my thought process. Okay, guys. Actually, I need to look up Plusle because I just realized. Okay, it's peach. There's a thing in their cheeks that I forgot. Pokemon like Grimer and Ghastly, I feel like would have been fun too. I've shown you guys my Ghastly horse, but like Grimer is another one where it's literally like you could just do anything with it. I think Ditto at one point I had a Ditto character that was just like this. What if that, like, what if you do a Grimer that's like super... It's like... Oh, well, hey guys. Actually, one thing. You know, like the limbs could disappear. You could just generate limbs from wherever. You could melt down. It's like... Gotta be a little careful though, because there's a very subtle difference between a Grimer and a Muck. If you get too loose with either one, then there's really no difference between Grimer and Muck. Mouse says, doesn't Wigglytuff has a light belly? Yes, it does indeed. I will add that in. Let me just get this stuff taken care of first. Okay, Wigglytuff's belly, I think I might not do... line art for, and also the ears. Are the ears white on the tips? Wait, now I'm second guessing myself. I gotta look at it. Wigglytuff. Yes, okay. I'm not making it up. Oh, I did the hair wrong. Whatever. It's a stylistic choice. It's just a stylistic choice that I didn't do on purpose, but it's here now. Javier says, Zero, does your program have a paint bucket tool? It does, yep, of course it does. What kind of pretentious art program would not have a paint bucket tool? Cough, Photoshop, cough. Photoshop has a paint bucket tool. Don't be ridiculous. It just kind of sucks, is all. I'm sure someday someone at Photoshop will figure out how to make it not suck, but unfortunately... Actually, you know, I think Photoshop might have it now. I just haven't used Photoshop in a long time, but I think there's some kind of extension fill, because it was... I want to say I remember it doing something like that the last time I used it. I can double check. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think it does have something where when you fill it, it like extends the fill selection. Because I didn't want it to do it, and it was doing it, and that's why I noticed. Though that might have just been in this program. I also don't have a very good memory, so sometimes I remember things as being something that they're not. Javier, do you use Photoshop? Because if you use Photoshop and you're having trouble with your paint bucket, there is a workaround that I developed back when I was using Photoshop that uses actions and allows you to create the same effect where when you fill it, it like you know, extends past the fill point so that it doesn't leave like that little wiggly line, that little pixel line between the fill and the line art. It like goes under. Let's see. I think I'll just bring this down actually. Javier says I sometimes use it for small stuff like banners and alter some pictures. Photoshop is really great, but it's definitely not what I would call a drawing program. It's like not a dedicated art program. It's just such a good toolbox of stuff that it has everything that you need to use it as an art program, but it doesn't come like geared towards that. It's definitely more for like photo editing and all that other stuff. I do still need Photoshop because of its sizing capabilities, which this art program doesn't have the same like capacity for, which I don't understand why. And then also the whole marquee. Why can't I hold shift and like move it around? I have to make the selection and then I can move it, but I want to make I want to move it around while I'm making the selection, please. Oh no, Wigglytuff's belly goes over its mouth? How dare it? This is atrocious. Why? Now it's got like a weird beard. Teal for the eyes. Okay, let's look up. Oh, actually, if I go backwards, I can pull up Baneri. I had Baneri up earlier. I actually want to lighten the Audino. Just a tad. That's what I'm used to. And then Baneri, you're gonna have a bit of a... this color and brown. Darker brown. A little more warm. More saturated. A little terracotta. A little pink. A little pink for the nose. And the ear. Okay, Azumarill. Did I do that backwards? Is it blue on the bottom? No, it's blue on the top. It's definitely blue on the top. I'm of course. Is it white on the inside, maybe? I'm gonna make it white and then check if I'm right. Azumarill. Actually, I think if I backtrack... Yes! Okay. Okay, it is right. I just made it a little too high up. This Azumarill has its trousers a wee tad too pulled up. Just hiked his trousers way up. Let's make it a little more saturated, shall we? With a few good friends and a stick or two, a house is built in a corner called where a friend and a stick. Okay, let's look up the little babies. Nidorina. Sorry, Nidoran. I mean, Nidoran. Nidoran male down here, crying his eyes out. Let's give him some of this. Let's give him some of that. Man, we have a nice, like, diversity of colors. We got purples and pinks and reds and blues. And it's just the whole rainbow here. Who knew rabbits could be so colorful? Let's see, white on the tooth. Oh no, his paws, I got them wrong. His little hooves. He just got hooves. Dung, dung, dung. I know he doesn't have any on his face, but I just kind of want to put them. These spots always looked like scales to me. One of the reasons I didn't understand when people said these were bunnies at first is because I'm like, no, they're like scaly. Bunnies have fur. Okay. Nidoran female, this beautiful little girl. Oh, I love her colors. Let's make that a little warmer. A little too warm. A little lighter. Javier says, can I adopt the Nidos? They're just adorable. These little babies. White. And then it's this color, but darker. A little more purple, a little darker. A little bit more. A little darker. There we go. let's see. Javier says, I sometimes use it for... Oh, okay. At least it's not the original sprite. Is not new levels of creepy, but can be very terrifying. The original sprite for which? Okay, this guy needs a better colors. Uh-oh, now he's just blending in. That looks good to me. And let's see. Spots. For Mew? The new sprite for Mew? Why are we talking about Mew? Let me see. Were we talking about Mew? No. For Wigglytuff. Oh, the original sprite for Wigglytuff. Oh, okay. You said not Mew levels of creepy. Okay, let's see. We have Whismur. Whismur! I misspelled Whismur. It's Whismur. Whismur. I do so love this song. I was surprised when my friend told me about Undertale song covers, and I was like, there's no music, like, there's no lyrics to the songs for Undertale, and she's like, oh, they write lyrics for them. And I'm like, oh man, can someone write lyrics to this song? It's like, hello, I'm over here in the Ace Attorney fandom. Someone help a brother out. Okay, Whismur has probably the ugliest shade of pink. Or maybe it's purple. Is its tail yellow? Let me look at its tail. No, I think it's just the same. Let's make it lighter. Definitely a little more yellow. Let's make it a little lighter. Nobody insults Whismur in my presence, says Javier. Gasp! I've overstepped the line. This chat room is just a minefield. You never know which Pokemon someone's gonna get up in arms about. The answer is it's all Pokemon. There's always gonna be... This is something I love about Pokemon. Even the worst Pokemon, there's always someone who likes it. Like, there, it's just... It's so great. I love the amount of love that the fandom has. Though it's also... It also goes both ways. No matter how popular or cool your Pokemon is, there's always going to be someone that despises it. Okay. Mouths time. Let's color in these mouths. Let's make it more red. Just go through and get all of them. And then the tongue. The universal mouth colors that I apply to all of my drawings. Okay, I don't remember what color these are, so I'm gonna look up Scorbunny. Close. I got it pretty close. Let's dash in a little bit more color. Let's give him his little red neck thing. Okay, so that is white. Next neck thing is red. Actually, no, it's more of a carmine. Is that the word? There was always a crayon, or was it a color pencil, that was listed as red. It was some kind of red, but it came out orange to me. I think it was like carmine red or something like that. Of course, I also couldn't read as a child, so I might have just misremembered it, but maybe it was like cardinal. No, it was definitely like a made-up word. Okay, well, its eyes should be black with red down here, white up here. There we go. That's Scorbunny. Oh, no, wait, that's not. Oh, no, hold on, wait. Okay, its nose is attached to this thing? Can I bring it down? And its nose is like pink. I don't like that. I don't like that as much. Okay, you know what? Artistic liberties, it's not gonna attach. I will give him the little mouth thing. I don't know what it's called. The split lip. Alright, is that all the colors? Nope, I forgot Bunnelby. Poor little Bunnelby doesn't have any colors. Javier says, Scorbunny has killer eyes. I agree. I do like those eyes. Bunnelby. There we go. Gray. It's a gray bunny. Oh, wrong layer. Wrong layer! Wait, is this guy's nose also just gray? Oh no, it's pink. Okay. For some reason I became colorblind for a second. And then brown. Give me a muddy brown. Dark mud. Aww, he's so cute. Oh, what am I doing? I can just... Okay, and then let's try... It's not bad. Grab this. Just make it all red and just whatever. And then maybe a little of this. Nope. A little of this. Okay. Maybe? I don't know. Actual killer eyes, like that one can kill us, any of us at any moment with its eyes. It's the killer rabbit. What? I think that's good. Let's go ahead and shade this thing. How do I want to shade this thing? It's out of background. Oopsies. There we go. My brush was on lowered opacity. There. Maybe the grass is coming in from the sides. Maybe it's going down. Maybe. There's not a lot of room for a background, is there? Okay, that's a start. Let's block in some shadows. And this kind of lighting is just gonna be normal bluish shadows. Nothing fancy. Just wherever it's underneath. Gonna knock in. Sorry, I was just looking for the boys. Sometimes I hear a noise and I'm like, oh! But then they're not. There ain't nowhere to be seen. They have been progressing, though. I am very happy with their progress. I don't know if I've told you about our little field trips to the couch. It's rather funny, actually. So like, I don't know if you can see. Let me check the footage. Okay, you can't see it in this frame, but like, oh, there's a Duncan. There's a Duncan on screen. Anyway, okay, so up in the top, like right here, you probably can't tell, but these are modular shelves. They're like little squares, and each one's about 12 by 12. And I've stacked them. You can link them together, and I've created a fence out of them to like pen in the boys. I have them 3 high, because if I just do them 2 high, that's 24 inches tall. They will jump out of it. Especially Domino, who's quite the jumper. Even at 3 high, if I put anything slightly elevated too close to the wall, he will pounce out. Which is quite annoying, because you can imagine 3 high is a little too tall for me to actually walk over. So I have to leave like a gap that I've like kind of MacGyvered a little door out of. Anyway, So they're jumpers, right? But if I take them out to the couch isn't that tall up. Maybe it's 12 inches tall, if even that. And they just won't jump off of it. It's the funniest thing. I'm a little worried that it's only because I've only taken them out there like 2 or 3 times, and that if they get more comfortable, they will eventually hop down from the couch. But another area, the bed, which has ample places for them to like shimmy down, they have also not jumped off. So it's very strange, but it provides a nice, smaller, less busy free range area so that I can, you know, sit and bond with the rats a little better, so they're not running all over the place, hiding from me and like being distracted by other things, running away from each other. When it's a smaller area, they're kind of forced to interact with each other and with me, and they've been getting, you know, friendly. They've been sitting with me. Domino likes to be scritched, like, a lot. He really likes it. Duncan, not so much, but I have, on the couch, been able to, like, get him to lie down and sort of gently stroke him from his head all the way to the base of his tail. And he likes that, it seems. It seems like he likes it. I'm still kind of new to reading animals. It's also possible he's doing the freezing thing where it's like, please don't eat me. But I think he knows that I'm not going to eat him. So I can only assume that he's, like, enjoying it. But also in terms of, like, trick training, which I'm not doing, like, super diligently, which I probably should if I want them to actually learn anything. But Domino has finally picked up on the fact that I want him to do spins for treats. He'll still rather go for the treat than do a spin. So if I hold it, like, above his head a little too long, he'll kind of try and grab at it. But yeah, I'm making little, like, movements, and he's spinning around. Domino hasn't been so good with the trick training. For some reason, he won't follow the treat. Maybe I need to start with something like targeting. But, like, when I try to lead him with the treat, like say he's standing in place, and I move the treat around to the back of his head so that he has to turn around to get it, right? Instead of, like, turning around and, like, moving his feet to turn around, he will just, like, kind of crane his head around and then fall over. It's really funny. But not what I want him to do. And then, of course, you got the whole, when I'm trying to train one of them, the other one runs over and gets in the way. So it's all a good time, though. For me, this is all because I don't really know how to interact with them otherwise. Because what they really like are treats. But I can't just, like, give them treats. I mean, I can. But it's not very engaging. They've gotten to the point, though, where if they're awake and I enter the room or, like, enter the pen, they will run over, which is really nice. I just kind of wish I knew what they wanted. Domino likes his scritches. He likes to be like handled and stuff. You can't get too rough with him or he'll be upset. But I finally got him to a point where he will lie on his back a little for me, which seems like it's just a cute thing, but it's actually great because he's the one that won't trim his own nails. Duncan trims his own nails. He like gnaws at them so they're short and not stabby. Like, they're still stabby, but a little less. But Domino keeps his nails so long, and I can't get my clippers into him because he squirms. But I'm hoping if I can keep putting him on his back and like fiddling with his toes, that he'll like eventually get desensitized to that, and then I can put him on his back and like trim. Maybe like give him a treat to gnaw on his back. It really kind of worked out that the one rat that doesn't trim his own nails is the one more susceptible to like being handled and like a little more okay with. He's a little more gentle. He's okay with being put on his back and stuff and picked up. He just doesn't like being held for a super long time. Okay. I did remember that last time Mouse asked me to talk about the last episode of Jet's Black Nuzlocke, something about like how I went about drawing it, and I never answered that because we ran out of time. And we started talking about like cartoons and stuff. So let me take a look real quick, see if there's anything interesting to talk about in this episode. I did use a new method to do the stars. I finally got tired of doing stars by hand, so I went on whatchamacallit, the Clip Studio gallery. I don't know what it's called, but like Clip Studio has these materials that users have created, and I think all of Wigglytuff is just gonna have to be shadowed. He's just too wide. He's just too big. But yeah, like there's a ton of them that are free to download. Kind of like free brushes, if you think about it in Photoshop. It's like that concept. But yeah, so I went and I found a scatter brush for making star patterns. So that shaved off a lot of time there. Always nice to have a scatter brush on hand. I I used to always do stars by hand. There's that one drawing of the werewolves in front of a car, in front of an RV or a camper van. And those stars, I like did a cluster and then I copy and pasted them around. But that's essentially what a scatterbrush is. It's a bunch of like specks, and then they're scattered, but they're randomized. But you like basically just take those and copy them over and over again, but you're using your brush to do it. Anyway, I know how making it works. I just don't know how to do it yet in Clip, so I couldn't make my own. So thank goodness for materials that someone else made it for me so that I could use them. And now I have a brush that I can use for speckles as well. I can do like maybe freckles, speckles in the dust, sand. No reason why it has to be only 4 stars. The way I did the night scene, I lightened it up a bit by putting the, that little edge glow. That little bit of teal. I think that really helps the characters pop out a little. Rat Rascal says, oh, that's neat. Yeah, stars are hard to draw. I have a brush like that too. I used to draw Orion's freckles all by hand, but then I got impatient and started using the brush. Yeah, it's definitely like a certain style to it. Like, it doesn't work for every style. I had to really dial it back because I was putting too many in. It kind of makes the sky feel too busy or over rendered, you know? So it definitely takes a bit of a you have to be aware when you're using it. You can't just like, oh, well, here's a brush. It's the same as like leaf brushes, you know? There are leaf brushes and cloud brushes that people have made that can work, but it's not like a download this brush and just do it willy-nilly and it'll make beautiful trees. It's like you need to know how to use them. And it's the same with the star brush. I definitely had to play around with it a bit and like delete some stars manually to make sure they weren't in the wrong place. But it's definitely so much faster than doing it all by hand. Oh my goodness. It was really fun doing the flashback though. Getting to see Lenora as a kid. I've had this flashback in mind for so long. Like, it was one of the main things that I had in mind about this comic is like, I want Lenora to know that the stone is the stone, and like, she doesn't want to give them it. Why? Because it's dangerous. Originally, at some point, I made it so that the stone was like dangerous even to touch. Like, she had it sealed in a box and like handled it with gloves or whatever. And it was like, if you touch it, then it like starts the ritual or whatever, and you're stuck and you like burst into flames or whatnot. I felt like that was a little much. And then I needed to do the scene with N, and so that's when I had to like decide if that's the angle I wanted to go. Because if it was, then I would have to like be careful about when he touches the stone. Eventually I decided that it should be fine. And then it was like, well, how would she know that it's fine? And I'm like, maybe at one point Juniper like is bumbling in her office and like picks it up, not knowing what it is, and she's like, "What? You picked it up?" Maybe I'll have a scene where she like is after she sees, or like she sees Getzes holding it before it like he bursts into flames, so she knows you can at least hold it, or like maybe she has to pry it from his hands or something. Eventually I'm like, wait, you know what? I don't need to explain any of that. Just have her holding it, and it's like there's no reason. This whole episode has just been like, oh wow, okay, yeah, there's no reason to have to explain that. I was like thinking about the part after he's like all burned, and like how she would have called the medics over, like, oh, she's gonna send her dog, or like her dog went to call someone, and then she's in shock on the ground, and then they like carry him away, and she like looks over and the stone's on the ground, she picks it up, and like I was trying to plan all of this out. And then at the end, I was like, wait, you know what? Just cut the scene. It was funnier that way, too, because then it's like, Getzes is having his moment, and then you cut to Lenora, and she's just like, what is happening? Like, I am not being paid enough to be here. Also, with the actual, like, flashback, I thought it would take a lot longer. Because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to, like, figure out how expeditions work. I'm gonna have to, like, you know, characterize the people involved. Kind of like the, I was imagining, if you can imagine, Disney's Atlantis. You know, there was gonna be a quirky bunch of people, all with their own little skill sets, and like why they were there, and they're gonna have names, and like they'll like have banter and whatnot. And at the end I was like, wait a minute, she's telling the story, I can just have a voiceover. To be fair, I was avoiding the voiceover because I'm not great at writing, and that would have been like telling the story through like exposition, which exposition isn't on its own bad. You just have to make it sound good for one and know where to put it for another. But the whole show don't tell thing is definitely a guideline and not a rule. There are some times when it's better to tell. But yeah, the flashback was so much quicker, thank goodness, than I expected. Excuse me, is this? Oh, okay, this is staff credits. I was like, is this Traveler Come Home? Because that shouldn't be in this playlist. I love that. Getzes did not pass the vibe check. Reshiram said your vibes are rancid. Oh. Leonardo's off. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. Lovely buns. Thank you so much. I'll have this posted eventually when I get around to it. I've been falling behind on the posts because work has been kind of busy, and then I run out of time to actually post things while I'm there. Excuse me. And Rat said, for sure a brush is used best when you can't tell it's been used. For sure, for sure. Yeah, guys, I've gotten some really good comments on this last episode. Like, all the comments have been really fun. They make me big smile. I always get good comments, but like this episode for some reason was like I was having a lot of fun reading these comments, especially. Some people couldn't even tell it was Getz's. I think some people were like, that guy looks like Getz's. I'm like, well, what do you know? How about that? I didn't draw it intending it to be like a secret. I thought it was gonna be pretty obvious. I don't know what it would have added if I did have it like a secret. Because it's not really gonna be in effect, as in like, I don't think the kids will ever really realize that Getz's was the guy who got the stone before and like got burned up. I don't think that's important to their story. It might come up in dialogue now that it's like canonized. It might come up. It's so weird. It's such a weird feeling to canonize things in my comic. Because, you know, you have the, like, stuff that happened in game, obviously. And then you have, like, stuff like Pokemon dying that obviously has to make its way in. But then I have all these, like, ideas of just, like, Getz's getting almost burned to death. Just, like, viscerally in my mind. And, like, I'm, like, imagining the scene. And just like, oh, am I actually gonna do that? Because I could not do that. You know, like, it doesn't exist in canon. Am I going to? And then it happens, and now it's like there. It like exists. It's outside of my brain, and it's so weird. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys have this feeling though, but I definitely like felt embarrassed while I was drawing it. I don't know, there's something about drawing like extreme agony that is kind of embarrassing for me to produce. And it's not even like I'm like, oh, I relate so much to the character, or like I'm putting my emotions and myself into this art. It's just, I don't know. Javier says, OMG, I can't believe you named Getz's Dennis. Okay. To be perfectly clear, I had forgotten where that whole joke, that whole meme came from. All I knew was my sister and I would always call him Dennis as a joke. And then I asked people and they're like, it's because of, in the song, it sounds like they're saying Dennis. I'm like, okay, no, I never heard that. I didn't even know for the longest time, or like, okay, wait, no, I should say like this. I haven't listened to the Getz's song, close enough to realize that they're like saying his name. I don't remember if I might have noticed it while I was playing the game, but like definitely, when I first heard about it, I was like, whoa, really? His name is in the song? And then I just didn't go to, like, check it out. So, I did not hear Dennis in that song. But I thought the joke was... And I definitely didn't make up the joke. I knew it was from something. But I thought the joke was just that it like his name just sounds like Dennis. and Dennis is just such a not threatening name. It's such like a normie name. It's like you cannot say the name Dennis menacingly. You cannot be evil and be named Dennis. I mean, you can. You like I'm sure there's someone out there that can make it work, but that person ain't me. Anyways, so I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm gonna name him Dennis. My only regret is I couldn't think of a last name. Cause like Harmonia or whatever, all of those are kind of too fantastical, kind of too, they're not normal names. I can't really think of a last name for him. If I were to do a last name, I was gonna make Lenora's last name Hawes, because that's her husband's name in the game, and she doesn't have a husband in my comic as of yet. I haven't decided, but I'm pretty sure I don't need to include her husband. I've just completely written out Lenora's husband, Juniper's dad, the sages, just like any characters that are extraneous. I don't need a bajillion extra characters running around. I can barely keep track of the ones I have now. Like, I need to give Bianca and Charon some screen time. I don't have time for Mr. Juniper. Anyways, so Lenora would either have to have a Japanese last name, because I would like take the name that she has in the Japanese version, or I would just use her husband's name as her last name, because it sounds like doesn't it sound like a science-y kind of name, like Hawkins sort of, but it's just Hawes. Lenora Hawes. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it looks like a decently scholarly name. But I didn't know if that would be confusing for people. And I didn't have a name for Getsus, so I couldn't do it. But at least I remembered that once upon a time I gave all the human characters like natures and characteristics. So I just brought that back, which is great. Oh, why is it not connecting? Where is it? There we go. Canonizing things is terrifying, but also but so awesome when you do it. You telling me Getsus didn't try to get the hot new look in canon? Oh yeah, before I forget, what do you think about the black and white story in general? I like it. I am not picky when it comes to story. I do not mind. Okay, here's a little anecdote. I don't know if you've played it before, but there's a game called Fantasy Life, which is kind of like if you took how did I describe this before? If you took like golly, I actually don't know how to describe it. Anyway, it's a cute game, but it has like a lot of dialogue for the story. Like the cutscenes are all just characters talking at you. And I didn't realize this until like really late in the game. And like after my maybe fourth cutscene that was like half an hour long of me just like reading dialogue, and I realized, wait a minute, this game is just playing me for a fool. It's just talking. I finally realized why I was like falling asleep during the game at certain points. I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah, I can get through a lot of talking, so that part didn't bother me. I was actually pretty fascinated by where they were going to take it all. I didn't have any preconceptions going in, so the fact that they were like pulling something what I felt was really new and interesting was fun. I liked the whole aspect of the truth and ideals. I like word concepts. I like concepts that you can like pit against each other. And that's kind of what I latched onto for my story. Was I wanted to really figure out what does truth versus ideals really mean, and like how do I characterize that in the conflict between Jet and N. I was definitely like put off by the ninjas. That part didn't escape me. I didn't like the ninjas. It was more like a hilarious thing to me while I was playing. It didn't annoy me, but it was like they stopped me on like 2 steps from this bridge so that they could walk me across the bridge so that I can get a cutscene. That was hilarious. I originally completely cut out the ninjas from the story. They went the way of the sages. They just completely didn't exist in Jet's Black Nuzlocke. I eventually added them back in again after several of my friends, one of which was helping me with the story. So like people were saying, oh no, you gotta get the ninjas. So I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I think I have something to do that I can do with the ninjas that's interesting. I have a place for them, which is the only reason why I added them back in. I didn't like that Getz's just turned out to be evil at the end. Like, it wasn't a surprise necessarily in that, like, he's clearly evil, but it was a surprise that was, like, the resolution was, oh, he's evil, so defeat him. Hooray. And I was really sad when N just left at the end. I wanted him to have a good time and, like, enjoy the new world where he's not, like, being brainwashed and being told, like, to do some stupid quest and stuff. I really liked N as a character. He's a great character. I was a big fan of him for a long time. But yeah, I didn't have strong opinions on it in terms of like if it was good or bad. I didn't sit down with myself to analyze that. I've found that I don't tend to form my own opinions on media. Especially of late, I will, if I like finish a series or whatnot, I'll definitely have an opinion on like movies and shows generally, but like especially with books, even if I like a thing, I won't say it's good. I'll say I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I don't know if it's good until I like watch a YouTube video or like talk to someone else who has read or consumed the media and they have a definitive opinion on it. I'm talking about like good bad judgments. I definitely know if I like a thing, if I enjoyed it a first time, but even then I've like grown weary of, because a lot of Pixar movies I've like left the theater feeling very good about. I've like watched Pixar movies leaving the theater feeling extremely like I've enjoyed myself, and then upon thinking about it realized I actually didn't, for like numerous reasons. Why does the line feel like it's lighter here? Did I do something to the line art? Hold on. Need to... Okay. Oh, and it's almost time to finish the stream. Let me try and knock out the last bit of shading, and then we can doodle something. Wheeler said, I heard Mouse die a little inside when you said you liked it. I mean, okay. Are you gotta like give me a little like this is the Pokemon game that I've thought the most about in terms of story. It's also the one that I came back to after a long break of Pokemon, where I hadn't played any Pokemon since Generation 3. And I never played Gen 2. So it was Gen 1 and then Gen 3 and then nothing and then Black and White. Blind. And then while I was playing it, I was like focused on other stuff too. First time I ever did a Nuzlocke. I was reading the story in like a how can I use this sort of way. And then also since then I've been thinking about it like almost constantly, trying to make it work for my own like canon. So I might have a bit of Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. Like, lay off. I enjoy it enough. It doesn't bother me. I won't say it's good. You know, like most things, I just can't form a strong enough opinion in that way. I won't even like defend it really. But personally, I didn't come away from it saying, wow, that was bad, you know? I thought the Ghetsis thing was bad, but like the rest of it, I was like, oh, I like this N feller. I hope he's doing well. Where should the shadow here go? Okay. Oh, Tails is here, just in time for the end. It says, this has turned out so cute. Thank you. Let's see, let me catch up a bit. To be fair, I liked it too, says Wheeler. I'm just saying I can already hear Mouse sharpening her knife. Javier says, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Black and White Story, but it doesn't bother me either. It won't stop me from replaying the game. Thanks for your opinion, Zero. It was very insightful. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. I like talking about my opinions even when they're wrong. like Black and White's story isn't good enough that I would defend it. But it's not bad enough that I would like judge you if you like it. You know, it's in that kind of area, and like I like it enough that I can work with it and not feel like, oh, it's given me a lot of fodder to work with in terms of building my own story. And with that, oh no, I didn't do Score Bunny. Okay, I think I have time for Score Bunny. But while I finish shading Score Bunny, please, if I can get a Pokemon in the chat, and I will give it a little doodle just for fun, and then we can wind down. I know I said I would try to end these a little earlier from now on so that we can do something other than just me doodling a Pokemon, which, you know, is only so interesting, I'm sure. But sadly, when we're down to the wire, I'd rather not go an extra 30 minutes over with like a Pokemon challenge. Because let me tell you, those fusions are maybe the easiest of the bunch, and even they take like 15 to 20 minutes to figure out sometimes. And you know, I have an anime date after these streams. We watch Pokemon Annie on Mondays. Don't want to cut into that time. Okay, and then I think just a wee bit on the ears, because especially with a Pokemon that's white, you need shading. You need something to break up that. Do 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 do. I don't know how the anatomy on these ears work. So, Scorbunny, you're gonna get a little weird I'm just gonna shade in this whole thing, probably. Yeah, let's just go the whole thing. Maybe this part can be sticking out a little bit. And then this part. Let's turn on the multiply and then bring that down. Okay, so like the finishing touches that I would do would probably just to like go in with this and just like kind of bring some of this grass up, you know? Oh, what was that? Kind of like this. But I can do that better on my own time. But that just kind of makes it feel less like it's like they're swimming in nothing. Okay, something like that for the grass, but better. But yeah, there's the boys and girls and everything in between, all the little bunny rabbits. All right. Javier says, Black 2, White 2 story, on the other hand, is that a good or a bad? Javier says, I've never regretted skipping it in my story log. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. Okay, I am completely blind still. Well, I know like one or two things about Black 2, White 2, but otherwise I don't know pretty much anything about it. So that certainly fills me with fear. Rat says, N is best boy. I remember when the trailer to Black 2, White 2, the animated trailer came out, N walks out of that mist, and I was screaming in the middle of the school cafeteria. I was like, okay, I wasn't like actually screaming, but like I was doing that thing where you're trying to stop yourself from screaming, but like the air is still escaping, you know, just kind of the kind of thing. I was really into N back then. I thought he was really cool. But let's see. Rat says, draw Pat Rat. Eddie K, they're drawn by you all the time. I know they're drawn by you all the time, but Wheeler backs it up, says, draw Pat Rat. And Javier wants a Dunsparce. Alright, well, that sounds like fun. I don't remember what Dunsparce looks like. Let me try and draw an accurate Patrat. I know I draw them all the time, but I don't draw them the way they're supposed to look. Because I think their ears are like that. They have these weird cheeks. And like these chins. This ear is way too small. Let me fix that. Can I just move this down a little? When is there gonna be a PMD where you can play as a Patrat? Give me that game. Patrat and a Dunsparce. I think it's tail. Little dragon tail. Dragon tail, dragon tail. I think I have stripes on its belly, right? It's not on its back. I think it's the belly. And then there's something on his head, like some kind of design. I can never remember what design is on its head. I'm gonna do that. I think throughout my comic, I've also gotten Patrat's design, like, all over the place because I never remember if its hands are colored or not. Sometimes I, like, have them colored in, like the feet, and then sometimes they're just the color of the skin. I forgot its tail. Scoot, scoot. Do the boot scoot boogie. Alright. What? Javier's like, man, I miss Patrick. It's so long. Patrick from SpongeBob? That's the only Patrick I know. Unless you're talking about your Dunsparce. If you had a Dunsparce named Patrick? Alright, and that's it. Oh my goodness, this Patrat looks so terrifying. Rat says, I would kill to play as a Patrat. Wheeler says, now you gotta draw 2 Patrats since it was suggested twice. Wait for me! I fell off, wait! He's like, no talk, me angry. Me no talk to you. I would slay a man, says Rat, in cold blood. Patrat, PMD, Protag 2020. Wheeler says, when is there gonna be a PMD game where you can play as a Patrat? Not exactly the same, but see me making Rattata the partner in my PMD comic? Yeah, I guess I could, like, play as a Rattata and just, like, make it a Patrat. They're kind of the same. Or just rats. Rattata is rat enough for me. Rat Rascal says, my friend and I have a PMD AU with our OCs and my Patrat is in it. Does that count? Yay! Oh, Patrick is the name of my Patrat. That's such a good name for a Patrat. Patrick. This picture is a story of betrayal. Yep. Just give me that old... dramatic lighting. Okay, y'all. I'm having too much fun. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining me as we... finish off another piece. Well, pretty much finished off. I still gotta fix the grass and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, thanks for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed our time together. I certainly did. We'll be going into another Pokemon family next week, probably. But we'll see. We might switch it up a bit this month if I have any ideas for, like, maybe, patron requests and such. But in any case, you guys have a good night. Trying to stay healthy out there. As schools are starting up, the public school just, you know, my brother's going back to school tomorrow, but I think everything's online, so he should be fine. But take care, everyone. Keep your noses clean, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye!